Hello and a pleasant day, everyone. Congratulations and thank you for being part of another worthwhile learning resource endeavor of our division. I am Brian Arayo, your fellow learning resource steward, who will embark with you in this journey. At this point, allow me to walk you through the general and technical specifications of the learning activity sheets or LAS that you are going to develop and evaluate for quality assurance. Some of these things, I believe, are familiar to you if you were part of the project PPE endeavor. Nonetheless, it is important that we go through this in toto because this would serve as our main reference as we go through the process of development and quality assurance of our LAS. So this is enclosure number 5 of the memo we have on the LAS, entitled LR Specifications of the Learning Activity Sheet. So let me start with the general specifications of the LAS. Under these specifications, we have the structure and sequence, content, and all the rest that we are going to encounter as we go through this document. So to start, we have the structure and sequence. LAS is streamlined and easy to understand. I think that is a given. And then size of the letters and sentences shall be appropriate to the target learners. And this is supported by the provisions that we will be encountering shortly in this document. Presentation shall be engaging and interesting. And then number 4, kindergarten LAS shall be engaging, activity-based, and challenging. Be multisensorial, enhance the development of the different domains, and visuals shall be in true color. That is for kindergarten LAS. And then number 5, LAS for kindergarten to grade 3 shall consider procedures that employ the help of a learning aid. So I think that is these provisions are easily understood. Let's proceed to the content. The LAS shall follow the K-12 curriculum MELC. So that is also another given because we are into it already. Then the MELC shall be unpacked or merged depending on the bulk of the competency. It shall be streamlined to one LAS per week in order to synchronize its delivery across learning areas in a particular level. Each MELC shall be subtasked by formulating the KSA objectives. So, in other words, if the learning area has only very few MELC, then this shall be unpacked. But if a learning area has plenty of competencies, then some of these competencies shall be analyzed and merged so that we could have the streamlining to one LAS per week. Number 3, it shall consider learners' context, situations, individual needs, and capabilities. So you are carefully handpicked because you are capable of this. No? You can consider the context and situation of our learner on the grade level and the learning area that you are handling that expertise. Number 4, it shall provide activities that promote the development of higher cognitive skills. Number 5, it shall be written in real-life context, interactive to arouse and sustain interest and motivation of a learner. And then, number 6, content shall adhere to the social content guidelines. Now, in these specifications, we did not anymore include the social content guidelines, but then we will be reposting because we already have an online material, a division online material on social content guidelines. So we will be reposting this because these are also important reminders for all developers and QA teams. No? Remember the the hula baloo in the social media uh, on the stereotyping, for example, on the stereotyping of the farmer, of a poor farmer with the tattered clothes and all of this stereotyping, no. So we want to avoid these violations of the social content. Number 7, content shall develop core values. Number 8, content and activities shall fit the learning competency and objectives. So this is a crucial concern because during the field monitoring of the division office personnel, the supervisors, they found out that there were materials that really had disconnect, no, incongruent objectives to the content. So if that is the case, then the material is not helpful. It is futile. So it's going to be a waste of resources. So we should be very careful on the congruency of the learning competency, the objectives, and the content. And then content shall be learner-centered, inclusive, and developmentally appropriate. Caution, warning, reminder shall be provided to ensure safety of the learner while doing activities. This is especially true to learning areas like TLE or science that require the use of hazardous or say materials that really need precautionary reminders. So we have to include that should it be deemed necessary. Number 11, LAS shall provide activities to self-monitor progress. The keyword there, to self-monitor, would justify the answer key that is included in our LAS. Number 12, content, language, and the materials shall be appropriate to the reading level of the learners. Now, these are the elements of the LAS. Later, I will be showing you a template of our learning activity sheet, an enhanced template compared to the last template that we released, that we utilized for the second quarter. This time we added a lot of modifications to enhance the version of our learning activity sheets. And later I will be going to present a sample and a template that will also serve as a template. So these are the elements of our LAS. The front, it has the front outside title page. So it no longer has the cover page, but it has the title page. And the title page contains the resource title, particularly the learning area and the grade level, the quarter number, and the week number. Then our LAS this time contains a violator, the government property reminder. And then there's also a title page art. So although this is not a cover page, but we also incorporated some visuals and graphics to make it more appealing to the learners. And then also on the title page in front, we have the LAS development and quality assurance team, which contains the name of developer, the name of the evaluator, and the name of the learning area supervisor. And this arrangement of the names is flexible because, for example, should there be a need for illustrators, like especially in the early key stages, then the development team could add the name of the illustrator. And then also on the front page are image credits and the copyright disclaimer that runs in all pages. So later I will show you what the disclaimer says about protection and security of this endeavor. So it runs in all pages. And then next is the body, the inside page. So inside page, we have the curriculum essentials with visual cues. So this time we added visual cues. No, the parts, no, the main parts of the LAS have visual cues. No? It states the curriculum essentials states the MELC. Then it contains learning objectives anchored on the MELC in KSA form. Then after the curriculum essentials, the learner's task. The learner's task also come with a visual cue. No? By the way, the visual cues are original illustrations of a teacher in Marihatag, Miss Ivan May Ambos. Okay, and then under the learner's task, we have the lesson overview. The lesson overview, which introduces or briefly discusses the topic or the content. So brief lang. And then after that, activity 1. This would be any activity that would cater to the first objective, the knowledge objective. It shall incorporate formative assessment that comes with answer key. Then activity 2, any activity that would cater to the second objective, the skills. It shall incorporate formative assessment that comes with answer key. And then activity 3, an activity that shall transfer the knowledge and skills gained or learned into real-life concerns or situations and values, catering to the third objective, which is attitude or the affective domain. It shall incorporate formative assessment that comes with answer key. And then after that, we have the formative test also with a visual cue. These are questions that will help the learner encapsulate the concepts learned during the week and shall be asked in a logical manner that scaffolds learner to summative assessment. It shall not provide answer key. So again, it shall not provide answer key. And then the answer key, this would be the answers to the KSA driven activities. Then there's the reference, which includes the third-party materials or sources in developing the material. Now, here is also a tabulated guide for the terms, since we have different languages in the K-3 materials, and even in the higher key stages, we have the Filipino. So we have the equivalent terms. We have the equivalent terms to unify the terms. We have under curriculum essentials, we have the competency. In Filipino, it's pamantayan sa pagkatuto. And then for the mother tongue, it will be labeled in the last as still competency. We are going to borrow competency for Bisaya and Surigao nun. And then objectives in Filipino, mga layunin. And then in Binisaya, it's mga katuyuan. And then in Surigao nun, mga katujuan. And then, learner's task, mga gawain ng mag-aaral. And then, in Binisaya, mga buluhaton sa estudyante. Surigao nun, mga himuonon nan estudyante. Then, lesson overview, all across the dialect, it's leksyon. Then, activity 1, activity 2, activity 3, that will be gawain. And then, Binisaya, buluhaton. And then, in Surigao nun, himuonon, 1 to 3. And then, the formative test will be pagsusulit. And then, in Binisaya, pagsukod sa nahibaluan. In Surigao nun, pagsukod nan nahibayuan. And then, answer key, in Filipino, last, it's susi sa pagwawasto. Then, giya sa pagkorek. In both Binisaya and Surigao nun. And then, references will be mga sanggunian in Filipino, last. And then, we will borrow the English term for both Binisaya and Surigao nun. And I believe that is understood already, no? And references. So those are the unified terms for the different languages. Then, as to the language, furthermore, no, to the language, material shall use everyday language of the learner. It shall use appropriate language and vocabulary. The length of the sentences, paragraph, shall be age appropriate. And then the language to be used shall be, for K to 3, all learning areas except English and Filipino will be in mother tongue. So that's either Binisaya or Sinurigao nun. Then for grades 4 to 12, Filipino and ESP are in Filipino medium. And then English, Science, and Math in English medium. And then MAPE and EPP for grade 4 to 6, and TLE for grade 7 to 10. It's going to be Filipino for grade 4 to 5, and then English in grades 6 to 12. And then for Aralin Panlipunan, from grades 4 to 10, it will be in Filipino medium. Now for illustrations, illustrations shall adhere to the social content guidelines. So this is also very crucial. People, animals, places, and objects shall be appropriate to the age, grade level, and context of the learners. This was included, actually, I could recall, during our refresher webinar with Sir Jason Villena, trying to emphasize that it is important also the appropriateness of the illustration. Like, do not use caricature or cartoonish illustration for junior high and senior high. You can only use them with the lower key stages. So things like that should be considered. And then illustration shall clarify and or enhance concepts. Do not put illustrations just to fill in an empty space. It should be something that could supplement the content. Now for technical specifications this time. So for page design and layout, at the kindergarten, the paper size will be A4, but the orientation is landscape. And then the margin all over the sides will be 1 inch. And then for grades 1 to 12, it's still A4, but the orientation is portrait. And then margin in all sides is 1 inch. And then please note that we included this reminder that the booklet type is highly discouraged. Based on observation, based on the field monitoring, we have received a lot of feedback that the materials really, the standards of the material, the quality of the material were really compromised with this booklet type, uh, especially on the typography, uh, the illustrations, and even the quality of print are compromised. Anyway, we already have the resources delivered to our districts, so we discourage the booklet type. Then we have here the specifications for the title page, so that you will be guided, no, the developers will be guided of the font type, and then the font size and other details. So I will not anymore discuss, because this will be given to you as reference, no. Just for example, uh, the the manner that the learning area and the grade level are written, then you have to consider that the font type used is Century Gothic, it's boldface, and then the font size would be adjustable from 35 to 48 depending on the length of the word, uh, like like if you compare the word science, and then araling panlipunan is quite long, so there is room for adjustment, 35 to 48 point. And then position aligned at the center top. So all these things are explanatory, and just go over it in toto, so that we will all be uh, guided, we will all be singing the same song when it comes to specifications. As to the body text specifications, these are the typography. So I believe you are familiar already. So since the Century Gothic could be used from kinder to grade 12, then we will have Century Gothic all throughout, because Century Gothic, the letter A, the manner of the manual writing of letter A is the same in Century Gothic, except, no, please be reminded, no, this is a common observation also. The question mark in Century Gothic is different, and it is not really that distinguishable. So instead of Century Gothic, we all change the question mark to Arial font type, only the question mark. And then we could also have here a reminder that the content, the manner of the content for K2 grade 3 should not be justified, no, it should be flushed left, then ragged right, no, to avoid hyphenations. But for grade 4 to 12, the body text is justified. Other specifications for body text: pages shall be complete and properly sequenced. K to 3 shall be flushed to the left, ragged right. For grades 4 to 12, justified. And then page number shall be centered at the bottom of the page. Then citations for graphics and visuals shall be on the same page. What do we mean by this? For example, you borrowed an image from a learner's material, then put immediately the citation below that image, as well as put also the referencing on that portion in the referencing. So again, these are copyright ethics. We need to do this for protection and security. And then there shall be no just one word or half a word on paragraph endings. In the learning resource, we have these terms, orphan and widow, meaning there are alanganin lines, no, alanganin words, for example, on the bottom. So you just make an adjustment that it could uh, be transferred to the page where it is where the majority of the text are found. So meaning kung alanganin, i-adjust. Bottom is orphan, and at the top page is widow. So all of these are should be avoided. Then pages shall be of the same length. As to digital file management, the last shall be encoded, of course, using Microsoft Word, and then there shall be one digital file per last, and then each last file shall be named following this format. So this is very important because per experience during Project PPE, there were districts who were not able to follow this format. Now the advantage of doing this is on the organization, file organization, both in the offline and even in the Google Drive, and this is very helpful in the organization. This is how we do it, no? Learning area with grade level, then quarter number, week number. Learning area with grade level underscore quarter number underscore week number, then underscore version number. So for example, we have science 8, so that is learning area is science and grade level is 8, so all small letters. Then we have underscore, then we have underscore Q3 for quarter 3, then underscore week 1, then underscore version number. So during my discussion on the development and quality assurance process flow, I have already reiterated about the file naming of versions 1, 2, 3, and 4. Our version file, the file name of our version that is ready for distribution should be version 4. And then ready to distribute last shall be submitted both in Word and PDF files. Our subject supervisors and the rest of us in the management team will be providing you with a Google Drive where the version 4 will be uploaded. Then style guide. These are set of guidelines and standards for writing, organizing, and designing any kind of learning resource for publication. So we might as well adapt this because soon in the future we are going to refine, to fine-tune our classes and then submit this for publication to the DepEd Central Office portal, the LRMS, the LRMDS portal, the LR portal. So if we could follow this faithfully or religiously, then we are on the right track. So for number 1, for basic style concerns, we refer to the Chicago Manual of Style, or CMOS. And then number 2, for grammar and style concerns, we refer to the latest edition of Elements of Style by William Strunk Jr. and E.B. White. And then for spelling and word division, we refer to Merriam-Webster International Dictionary of the English Language. So these are references that, for example, we come across with argument on something in the content. In order to settle the argument, then we refer to this learning style, the style guide references. And for citations, in-text citations and reference list, we refer to the 16th edition of the Chicago Manual of Style, or CMOS. For Filipino, we have the standards set by the Komisyon sa Wikang Filipino as directed by Kautosang Pangkagawaran number 34 Series 2013, Ortografiyang Pambansa, and Komisyon sa Wikang Filipino Manual sa Masinop na Pagsulat 2014, and the Orthography for Mother Tongue. And we will also be providing or sharing to the field, especially in Carcan-Madcarlan area, the orthography of Surigao-non, the Surigao-non orthography. So that's all for the general and technical specifications of the lasses. Okay, this time I'm going to proceed directly to showing you the sample, the template.